favouring Paper X in that regard, but something going to be played in here.
Oh, angles like that, this man hits those shots. Mechanically sharp as ever. Starting to read what they wanted. Similar scenes to before though. CUFAT BB and YU. Trying to work the map here, 2v3. Okay, testing. Okay, that's... I mean, they're playing such high risk, Mike. It scares the life out of me sometimes. 20 seconds and a 1v2, Divine and Forsaken. Where are we off to now? 14 seconds, his options are so limited.
10 seconds left.
They're both here. Surely not. Yeah, he's got to go for it. No chance. Well handled by Paper X, closing in on the scoreline.
So you've got to look for that composure again, building up a little bit of a cushion.
Menang lah kan?
That's where you look
Nggak tahu ding.
Some of these
50-50 sih, soalnya keren juga Pak ini tim China.
Beautiful little trap piece outside
CUFAT.
Wolves actually going to be the ones to pump the brakes a little bit. I'm at round 8 again. Decent sample size, I guess, already in the first half here. Maybe a little bit.
Bentar deh guys. If I have to.
You've got that Odin spam coming down. It's not as lethal as it could be. I mean, if you throw in a Viper with it, right? We've seen what that can do. But still, as it stands, it's going to cut off those options towards A, it feels like, and pressure back towards B, those C hits. But it's the re-aggresses from Paper X. Very little fear, even in those high-risk scenarios. We're a bit more used to it, I guess, at this point, and so will they be now. At 3 to 4, just Sheriffs. And a couple of classics.
I mean, bigger picture-wise, both of these teams have so many reps this year on Moats. I think it's 14 for Paper X and 11 or 12 for Wolves.
Yeah.
So even here on the attacking half, I mean, if you come out with a lead, doesn't matter what it is, you've got to feel really good about yourself. So we'll have to ride this out on a handful of Sheriffs. Something going to tuck himself in between these smokes.
Oh, it's nasty. And Divide drawing all eyes on him. It is only pistols, but it's Divide's like that. Sorry, something. You don't even get to play. Easily done. Happy with that. Confidence builders there.
A little bit of a reset here in between ahead of this buy round, and actually we'll have the pit. CUFAT BB has his ultimate. Juicy just one away as well. Didn't even need the second piece of this setup.
One enemy remaining.
Building some confidence here with the Cobra round 4 Divide, who's actually leading the border 10 and 4, an early 3K, I believe, in one of the rounds.
Ooh, look at this stack. They're in the right place here, Mike. How far do Paper X go in this? Deep flash. Look at this outrageous approach. Oh, it's been absolutely red. Jin gets backhanded there, and they couldn't close down on any of the kills.
I mean, 2 pings on the reveal. Not sure how much that box just sponged, but no damage.
Face your fear.
Coming through, it's only really CUFAT BB who's taken a hit here down to 35 HP. Nightfall might actually be a bit of a red herring.
How much can Patman be expected to do here? That's a huge ult as well, right?
That's to basically hit the
and
panic
Forsaken,
button.
wait, Forsaken! Oh, they read it so smart. As soon as that Nightfall caught how many? 4 players? Instantly went for it. Now, not to beat, Wolves 2 heads up for that. And the dust hasn't even settled really, but the rotations are here. Device back over. He was solid before this nice high-low setup. Be very difficult to break. One not there, Paranoia ready, there it is, forces them off. Spring, they seem so prepared for these holds. They've seen Patman as well. Position now given, and look at YU.
He's got so much space to play into.
His lurk is so nasty. And at this point, they want to pivot. They want to go back towards B. It does put in towards something's hand. Spring.
Waduh.
It's gorgeous. works, but something still stands. Caught in between a rock and a hard place. Where do they go? Back towards C. Safety on that
10
C
seconds
site. You don't fancy walking into something like this. So the plant's in, and he's left in a 1v4.
Make an honest go of this here. You can see on the X-ray why you already wrapping him. He's got a turret here to play contact off as well. Might even just
Saving
pop
adalah
something in the back
pilihan
of the head,
terbaik ya.
We'll get the sound cue
Mungkin.
regardless. I think now relaying that information. Yeah. Sorry.
God, his positioning.
Ya
Yeah, and
Allah.
this is just, again, probably sitting back and watching this, Alex not going to be happy about this spray into the smoke with the, it's begging somebody
Someone.
to walk on it.
Yep.
And Spring just comes alive.
And it feels like this was a whole book in one round, right?
Oh.
Chapter by chapter at this beginning, the box apparently being on Wolves' side. And then you had the TP coming in, you had the Nightfall coming out. This all happened. All of this was in the same round. And again, that paranoia being just tilted up, it felt like they were so aware. There's the war from
Patman's on a reload. So Forsaken fully committed towards that. They're both spamming into the, I mean, there's an opportunity to potentially bait into that. One person sprays.
Ya Allah.
Something off rip here, round 10.
Timeout seeming to work well, at least for these early couple of exchanges, right? Something's want of space and wanting to play towards bound is fine, but you've started to see how Wolves are approaching this.
You never see Paper X really relent in that
No,
regard.
no.
They will continue, and that's where they catch teams off guard, where it's like, yeah, your aggression
Surely
hasn't
now.
worked 4 rounds in a row. No, we're coming again, don't worry.
That 5th time, it'll work. And now we're seeing a bit of a tempo switch up from Wolves too. Very, very slow, holding here, waiting for that re-aggress, which is coming. And again,
Satu.
they're so prepared, Mike. They've got the PRX playbook and they understand it well. Still got to handle the players on the other side.
Wah.
Great shot from Batman.
Di-trade
He's
langsung.
traded. And the numbers simply so advantageous. A quick
Lumayan
one
lah.
at the back of once again, why use space?
It's always the one to backfill these sort of plays.
Ooh, tricky. Still not easy on this though, is it?
No.
It's. Whoa! A shot! Oh, come on! How is that fair? But look at once again. If you don't
Aduh,
see him
nggak
on the
di-expect
site,
ya.
you know where to be looking. Slow and
Aduh.
steady, he herds them closer. They need a plant though.
Aduh.
17 seconds, and why you on his
Mati dong.
bounce. Divide dead! And now the plant on the line though. Forsaken could speed up here. Punish the plant, but no, can't quite catch him! Spring again! Wolves! Beautiful mid-rounding here, Mike. This is stunning.
Blow for blow, this exchange is beautiful to just watch from the minimap. YU threading the needle once more. Oh. That's how it gets found. But again, it's a similar thing. Paper X, they lose one, they stack up 3 to actively re-clear that space. And ultimately, again, it feels like it's their demise in this round because of YU. Now sitting at 11 and 5, leading the board for Wolves. Almost the executioner getting plenty of shots to the back of the head.
Oh yeah. And it was impressive. Again, this kind of, it feels like it came out of that timeout as well.
Time
They've
out.
got a game plan in mind of how they wanted to approach this,
But
and it's
yeah,
worked.
I mean, because they're reading it perfectly. That, again, this scenario, First Blood comes through. They know Paper X are going to re-clear. So there's going to be 1, potentially 2 other lanes on the map that are totally open for YU to walk into.
It's very impressive to watch because Paper X are a really hard to handle team. You only have to look at the names they've taken down to get to this point, right? It makes perfect sense. Liquid, Sen, G2. I mean, they're a dangerous team. You know, if you want to you talk about, you know, all these kind of, you know, intelligent teams, they play that, you know, good quote-unquote Valorant. They've fallen for this, but Wolves have come in very prepared. Maybe just, you know, very, very ready for what Paper X like, understanding the tendencies.
Prepared, yes, but actually refining some of the things that we've seen them adapt here in Toronto,
True.
which is actually what's so refreshing to see, again, on a dream run like this, an underdog dark horse, but actually improving game by game. Upsets along the way, sure, but actually showing they've got their heads screwed on.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Now for Paper X, so once again, you kind of go into the archives, right? As much as everyone likes to look at these guys as underdogs, they've had to rebuild. That is true. Bringing in Patman was fantastic. It worked. We've all seen the difference in their playstyle as of late. They're starting to look much, much better overall. But these guys have sat in finals. These guys have been in Champions finals. They know what this sort of pressure's like. They are never going to be the underdogs in my mind. They're too talented for it. So as it stands, they need to adapt here.
Let's look what's happened here as well. PaperX already drawn a player across. I mean, Divine now reconsidering, but Spring looking to pressure up towards Tree. Divine again, counter 3, almost caught one here. Now, again, shows presence on the other side. So Ice towards the minimap, look what happens. Immediately PaperX looking to isolate the weaker side of this default, but they pick up the pace towards A.
I like the intention, actually, I really do. But the problem is the stall out's fantastic from PaperX. Denying that space being taken freely, they're here quickly, popping the ult from something. Information galore in 25 seconds. We are now at pressure stations. Forsaken down on 30, has to respect the paint shell. The spray through Smoky does allow for something does. They're dwindling in numbers. Sufat, BD and Spring, the last two standing, and they are cornered here. This adjustment from PaperX, Divine! Stunning from them.
Comeback bro, comeback bro.
That is a beautiful recovery considering what happened elsewhere. It was paranoia, showstopper, so much thrown towards YU. And in that situation, Wolves just kind of need to go, 1 for 2 in terms of approaching A site. They do that. PaperX still come back.
This is really nice for PaperX.
Wow.
Again, even seeing that
Snappy aim.
disciplined start to an extent, right? That dose of discipline at the beginning, the second contact's made.
A sprinkle of discipline.
That's much of a gun, But honestly, I like that though. And again, those quick rotations, starting to read what Wolves are doing, identifying YU where he was. And yeah, the trap was there, but even those rotations coming in so quick. Back into the mix of things, a buy for both sides, still lacking for some areas on PaperX's side. You're going to see that Guardian still in the hands of Divide. And a stack up from Wolves. And on the other side, Forsaken, not too far, a clear towards Mound, and a wanted punish. You can see they're starting to read this, maybe Mound pressure, trying to maybe toy with those expectations off of that Fade utility.
They kind of know Forsaken's the key stakeholder in terms of those set pieces outside C.
Attacking sided map. Attacking kita gacor nih. Yakin, Fa?
And some people may look at these two teams and see them as just those mechanical.
Ya emang susah sih ngejagain Lotus ya. Mengingat win rate kita di tapi masa ini kita ngeprediksi berdasarkan pengalaman ini, Pak. Main unrated.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to kind of pre-take, I guess. The plant's going to come in. Now this should encourage movement here.
Wow.
Just going to kind of eat the
Tapi bener-bener ke press terus. Ya Allah.
So a 3v3 in the post. Look at the position from YU. That is, excuse me, coming in from CFAT BB. He's still on the way, but they've still got to slow things down. YU does well. Lysor still has to hold ground here, and now the silence becomes deafening. The position becomes questioned. They don't know where he is, but they're going to hazard a guess.
Mati dong.
CFAT BB does well on one. Draws to buy off the defuse. Just needs to keep his cool
rapi
here.
Tertib bro mainnya bro.
Play to the time, play to the tempo, play to the clock. And play him like a
ya, berdiri lagi bro.
This guy time and time again looks so composed in the clutch and closes out a 7-5 half here, Lauren. Fantastic stuff from Wolves.
This has been an exceptional game so far. Just brilliant from both sides. And again, on surface, you may have thought, it's not going to be this, really cerebral matchup. But this has been a wondrous affair.
Really has. That's any sort of taster here towards the second half. Don't go anywhere, we'll find out very shortly.
Yeah, we will, because we do have a bit of a treat as well coming up. We do have the one and only Mixwell standing by for us. So that'll be where we're going to in just a second. So I can't wait to hear from him. He's been in these scenarios. Let's see how that feels from the other side.
Tapi emang rapi sih.
Well, one of the perks of being here live during finals weekend is being able to run into legends such as Mixwell, who's co-streaming here from the venue now. Welcome back to Canada. You've been here before. What do you think?
Tapi menurutmu
I think the crowd is one of the loudest I've ever seen.
Persentase sejauh ini lebih mengarah ke siapa, Fa, buat menang, Fa?
They are doing a great job.
Yeah, it's very exciting to be among them now. You have a little bet when it comes to Wolves. Can you explain it to everybody what happens if Wolves win this event?
I wasn't familiar with their game. At the start of the tournament, I said that if Wolves wins the event, I'm gonna go bold. So now I'm afraid I need PRX to win today, please.
Toronto, what are the chances do you think of him going bold? Come on, are Wolves gonna win this event? Oh, it's not looking good for you, Mix. It's not looking good. Now, some of the players on stage, you know, we've really seen their personalities. Sufa, BB, Forsaken, they're on their feet. They're hyping up the crowd. As a former player who also enjoys that atmosphere, how important is it to have that hype man on your team?
I think it's really important, especially when they are down. Some games, Wolves were down and Sufa brought Juicy back, for example. And I think it's crucial. I think that you have to play with the crowd, you have to enjoy the moment, you have to be in the moment. And Wolves, especially, they are enjoying it a lot. And a lot of people want to cheer for them as well because of that energy. And now I like them. Even though I might go bold, I like them.
All right, we shall see. I hope you do go bold at the end of this event. Thank you very much, Mixwell, for joining me. And let's see if PaperX can maybe save him in the second half.
The one thing I will absolutely agree with is this crowd has been amazing. For both teams as well.
But the second thing I was actually referencing back something we were talking about in the cast the other day. We do see the econ report here from Coinbase. Again, very evenly contested first half here. Really pull ahead here for Wolves, but also Divide on the other side of things. But just to come back to that same point, again, the resilience. Juicy the other day, an absolute stinker of a first half.
Yeah, really strong.
But again, the vibes never changed on stage. You could see maybe hints of frustration coming through, but that's where players like Sufa and BB really pay dividends in terms of a team's mental.
I mean, we talk about the sixth man, right? Being that crowd behind you to get you back going.
You almost need a conductor actually from the stage to be able to actually channel that back into getting a team back online, and Wolves certainly have tapped into that here in Toronto.
All right, PaperX now on the attack, 5-7.
Oh.
Divide, headliner, a big player in big games too.
Mati dong.
Don't forget what this man can do. 3 pivotal kills, and a stark reminder of who PaperX can be.
We dictate the pace now. You can't sit back in the default. We'll bring the fight to you. Now, why you in spring? Well, just why you left now in a 1v5. An ace needed. The Jing gonna shut down any hope of recovery.
Terlihat meyakinkan, bro, sejauh ini.
And you're right, I think what you said.
Jadi pistolnya ya.
Controlling that tempo, making their fights their own. Hard to handle on all occasions.
PaperX are going to dial into that. And that's really, I guess, we've asked this before of Wolves to kind of stabilize a little bit in the second half and really get to grips with what their opponent's going to try and achieve here. Is, again, no secrets on the way in from PaperX. Stack misplaced here, so second successful approach towards A. Hopefully.
Yep. and I again look towards Divide here, 2 away from his ult so early on. I mean, that could be there for the bonus, right? Huge.
What is that? Yeah, his third 3K or something.
1 off now.
So far.
That's brilliant. Massive the attack inside. That could be lovely for them to have in the back pocket. Something that Wolves will have to deal with.
Coming to your first buy round, to have that ultimate available is brutal. Wow.
Guys.
A response down.
Easy, Tiger. We shouldn't get more dangerous than this. Stop it. Stop it. Jing and Forsaken keep this in control. Stop it! What is going on? Forsaken left in a 1v2. Come on, Forsaken. Surely you keep this safe. Backpedaling away, trying to play the time now. This should never have been this close. See that baby forced to move, but that got way closer.
Come down to a Red Bull clutch here. Just 1 rifle retained. Now you're almost relying on Divide's ult to be the turning point here. But PaperX are able to get the purchase together. Jing, judge, but I saw finding so much value here. Jing. Okay. Blood pressure check required for Alex.
We'll get the heart rate monitors out next time. Now, again, keep in mind they do have Divide's ult here. So this is something you've got to see them build around and be aware of. a little pain shot to try and maybe delay.
I mean, Wolves are just perfectly for this. There's actually nobody here. Yes. Entry found, but it's a full 5v5 in the post.
Sketchy timing on this. And it looks like something wants to try and hold this back. They're willing to try and brawl on the site. They're not sitting deep at all here. Something wants to draw blood. PRX still standing by. Oh, it's messy. And now there's an opportunity. PRX though, banking on Jing. And you know he'll give you a couple here. Beautiful from him. Now down in the 1v2. Incredibly difficult for CFAT BB again. Not gonna happen. Jing's got that one all day long.
The tempo shift here on the half certainly suiting Paper X. Now one to the good, 8-7 the scoreline. Can get this judge up close and personal.
Okay. Who's got
Jing 4 on the round for him. Good progress towards the showstopper as well. Gonna potentially, what should all rights have that for the
Aman
next
aja,
round.
Fa.
Wolves
Berarti kamu paper boy ya, Fa, kamu.
have ultimates to their name. It's Fat BB the closest, and well, actually Lysor one away from the TP.
Tapi si ini, si Ufat ini
too
emang
impactful.
mentalnya keras, Pak.
Okay.
Takutnya
And that's a recoverable weapon. No one else is here. So the game should be given away to an extent. Obviously now, the hit being noted by YU. Trying to buy time, but it's hard to hold this back, right? It's a flood of players, full kit.
Nobody was watching, don't worry. We didn't see it.
Yeah,
We didn't see it.
All good, all good. Paper X though, got to steady the ship here. Can still get a little bit scary. And now Juicy does have that Vandal, right? Can they play him in? The post plant is purely on the site itself, Mike. There isn't anyone sitting deep.
Well, I mean, he's got 4 sheriffs basically to rally behind here and try and make this rifle work. Found the first. Patman's fallen.
Okay, Divine now. Gonna have to do work here. See if BB does well. Divine.
Whoa.
I told you.
Gox, bro.
Man is a big player in big games, and he just had a hell of a lot of impact.
Blink and you miss it. One of the quickest aces I think we've probably ever seen.
Look at this. And they needed him. They needed this. It was all going wrong. Oh,
That is just
magic.
beautiful to watch back. He's going through it.
They're getting close, Wolves, right? They're getting close on these rounds, getting a little bit scary. But the scoreline looking good for Paper X. 9-7, a bye back in hand for Wolves, though. They have to stop the rot fast.
This could be the round to find that response. But I can see Fat BB's ultimate. Turn around, obviously retrieve. All about side C. There's a bit of a gap here with Forsaken solo anchor towards A. Obviously, possibility here. And then second player actually to come across fairly quickly, but
Well, here comes the test. Patman. I don't know if that's going to reach. It does, so Lysol will be noted. Draws the paranoia.
Iya bang, 97 bang.
They can't hear a thing here. Divide though.
Padahal tadi pas di attacking,
35 seconds
pas
the paranoia burnt early. And Lysol
ini
needs to be
Paper
ready.
X-nya
Still a lot of
defense
pressure coming his
agak
way.
ini sih,
You're gonna hear the ults coming out.
agak
But
gemeteran
Lysol
lah.
still does the damage. Can't do the dance though with Forsaken. And that's a beautiful catch
Waduh,
from CFAT BB.
gemeteran lagi kan.
Punishing Jing on the push-up. And now the plant gets hindered.
Waduh.
Problems down mountain.
Ya
Spraying at
Allah.
the door, and now it's just on Divide. Position noted
Ya, bang,
earlier,
ya,
they
bang.
should be aware. But this man's dangerous, but not today. Spring's got his number. And Wolves back within touching distance.
we said we needed them to find a response here. They finally stopped that string of rounds.
Paper X.
Getting costly here on both sides. The showstopper shut down here from Jing, desperate to try and convert.
Ya Allah, teriak lagi.
It's worth some money from Paper X.
Yeah, it has,
See
yeah,
how
I mean,
close these rounds have been.
necessarily been a walk in the park for that string of rounds, but Jing looking to put this rifle to work. Start of round 18.
He's had a feel-good round not too long ago. Ooh,
Oh, look at that anti-TP sets up!
Oh, it's so sick! You think Wolves are just another team? They're certainly not very ready for what PaperX wanted to bring. Forsaken picking up what feels like the cursed rifle at this point. Just dropping hand to hand. Divided well last time in a scenario not too dissimilar to this, but not be able to get it this time. Yeah, handled. Wolves fully ready.
Udah kayak heretic teriak-teriak. Makanya nih ya emang ini sih lagi naik-naiknya juga kan. Kayaknya si Wolves. Benji VC part 2 kah?
Yeah, Jing's forced into the line of sight as well, so great little setup here from Wolves will actually get them a second round. There's a timeout as well for PaperX. So we'll be required to stand on their own 2 feet now for the remainder. 9-9 the score.
Timeout.
I just keep thinking, oh, okay, PaperX back to that 4 in the row. You start to have Jing popping off. You've had Divide do it, you know, acing out. It looked good. But then these last 2, Wolves never feel like they look like they're under pressure. It's always possible with them. That nice little setup. The last 2 rounds, very considered.
Find themselves in a really good position actually here in terms of defensive ultimates. They got 1 away from the lockdown. Springs 1 off the pit.
Oh, true, yeah.
2 more for Juicy.
Wolverhampton.
Showstopper. I mean, yes, options on the side of PaperX.
Ya ini kayak
in terms of this defensive old side.
ini ya apa namanya vibe-nya mirip-mirip lah. Secara behavior enggak tahu sih. Mungkin ya. Tapi malah yang gini-gini yang bikin seru ini gak sih? Pertandingannya. Yang bikin matchnya jadi panas.
Last check-in with the coaching staff unless we get OT.
Wolves getting a little active here as well,
Hey,
actually.
off the back of a timeout, why not? The traditional reaction is PaperX aware something.
Yes, and then
You may think there's one.
nah iya kan,
Oh,
kayak
quick enough to find one.
ya emang
Away from Forsaken as well. Do they try and go on the hunt from this?
it is what it is.
Lovely.
But
Big
this is my
investment on
god.
that, but I like the idea of
Kamu,
taking a lot of space.
kamu Wolves stan.
Towards the site. It's, yeah, Juicy still standing here, pops the off.
Apakah ini memang eranya
Jing midair. He can't get
Wolves
away
kah?
from him. Brought back to life before from CUBB, and now he's standing on his own 2 feet.
Aduh,
Divide left. All on his own.
aduh, exit frag lah
He doesn't even know it. Thought
minimal.
that TP might have cut right through him, it didn't. The Wolves still standing
Satu.
together, fighting
Nice.
together. Divide does what he can, putting up the start. The Wolves
Ya bang.
taking the lead.
Executed to perfection here.
Ini
Get a
terlalu
crucial trade from Juicy, but then to find the second
Terlalu
showstopper
nge-press
comes
ya
through, that's
mereka
splash
main.
damage. I can't believe that even catches on Jing. Outrageous scenes here.
He's starting to believe now. The way this half started, I thought it was going to go kind of par for course, right? What you'd expect. The Wolves once again proving they are lethal about their business. So we go again. Money not looking good for PaperX. It's
Era
Stingers,
baru buat
it's a
tim-tim
Sheriff, it's a Bulldog.
baru, tim lama udah kayak cuma tinggal
All
storynya
together from
aja.
the bargain bin basically here. And
Ya
they make
mungkin.
something with it.
Tapi ya
Chip
kan
on the way, position
emang
unnoted.
asiknya kalau match yang apa ya,
Got C's and his prowlers,
yang
but they are
fair,
fighting this
nggak
game.
fair siapa
Not
namanya,
sleeping.
kayak
Expecting the
rata
best.
gitu, jadi kayak nggak ketebak siapa juaranya kan, jadi lebih enak ditonton aja.
It gets a bit messy, but it's working out at least for now in Wolves' side.
Right here for Batman, though.
Oh, do you really go for that?
Certainly doesn't feel safe to just stick the plant out, so they're waiting for something. Does have the ultimate here, but again, 2v3 doesn't feel good.
And that chip on Pac-Man 2, they're starting to feel it. Something's going to have to go nuclear. Try and save the day, but none of these fights, these engagements are fair for him. Why you does
Orang lama versus orang baru. Menang mana Hope? Menurutku orang lamanya ini di sampingnya Alex, main freak versus nggak versus sih. Ya ganti pemain aja sih, jadi Batman. Menurutku tapi nggak tahu ya, tapi masih Valorant sih. Orang lama, orang baru mau comeback. Boleh. 9-11 masih masuk akal lah kalau mau comeback. Kita lihat apakah benar-benar comeback.
It all starts to compound here, but they're not there yet. 4 in a row, unanswered. Alt starting to build, money looking solid. We're gonna need a Paper X round. Gonna need someone to step up, and it looks like something wants to try and trailblaze.
Sama-sama nge-press bagian tengahnya, jadi nggak ada yang benar-benar memajuin. Aduh, bagus padahal paranoia. Aduh. Oh, nice. Oh, nice for second. Bring back Aaron, coach. Ini buat Alex nih, ada pesan dari viewer. Jadi General Fox, bring back Aaron katanya. If you can watch my video, Alex, please hear this message. Nice banget. 13-11 lah. 11 is all they get, bro.
Not allowing Wolves to really sit back on their laurels and rely on these ultimates. Getting so sloppy on that first kill. The paranoia almost setting things in motion, but
emang Wolvesnya tadi geter ya.
Just absolutely bulldozing his way onto site.
Those were your last words.
Wolves at late time out in the half in the map, round 22.
Entah kenapa tapi time outnya Valorant tuh musiknya enak-enak gitu. Atau enggak deh, kayak apa ya, loading ininya lah. Apa ya, loading musiknya.
Well, again, you think about it as well, if you don't invest these ultimates early on, you never really get a clean 5v5 retake versus Paper X, because they'll find a plant, but they'll also more often than not push towards spawn, try and find a kill, weaken that setup. So Wolves do have any kind of set pieces around these ultimates. You're really looking towards Spring and YU to mitigate that risk and sit deep enough where not really going to be able to rely on it too much. But said Paper X, they're a team that reads into that sort of thing so well.
I'm probably going to see a paint shell. I imagine maybe a C's perhaps, who knows, but you're seeing the way that Paper X want to pass.
Well, first time actually the stars aligned for a fight towards level here.
God, this could be right off the rip. Here we go. Already paint shell comes in, C's not going to find it, but the reveal is fantastic. Juicy gonna go
nice banget. Aduh, di trade tapi nggak apa-apa. 4 lawan 3.
Paper X aren't stopping. They want the site.
Flashy. Nice.
Yeah, beautifully done by something. Yeah, that's stunning. Almost singular
Rapi.
just banking on themselves.
I mean, what plant coming through with 120 left on the clock, it's
nah, tinggal postpannya. Harusnya aman sih.
And it lands once more. Similar to those early rounds we did see in the second half.
This shouldn't be possible. A 1v.
Aduh.
This shouldn't be possible.
Okay.
Something in the end to add the full stop to that sentence.
Paper X behavior. Untungnya aman.
But it's getting close here. The money's still in place for Wolves. And you're looking at those ults that become such a heavy factor, but this reveal was everything.
Lysor, unfortunately, still in the committed position. Seeing Fat BB, unfortunately, I guess, just caught off guard by the flash. Tried to turn it, but even so, you connect that first shot, you've got 2-3 more members of Paper X staring you down. Paper X maybe feel as if they found the recipe here. Slower approach this time around. No resistance shown early on, at least, from Wolves. Exploration elsewhere. This is both YU and Spring, though. Spring's going to continue pushing forwards. Might even catch Divine Spawn.
Trying to almost sell this fake, but Divine completely unawares. They hadn't seen this sort of look before, but if anything, it encourages his approach towards A now.
Team does have a showstopper as well, though.
Yeah, this is going to get tense. Both players stuck on the back of the site now. Ready for the swing, but not ready for the shot. Lysor has his Forsaken, waiting for the pop. And the Owen Jinx it. 3v3 now. Tension rising. Something holding the push through the door on the other side now.
Nice
from him. Man advantage and plot next on the cards.
See the lockdown invested here. A 2v3. The response comes through from Patmen, but Paper X are going to find this. YU's found one.
Yeah, beautiful from him. They've got to react to it now. Something, it wasn't clean enough. Jing, what do you do?
He's caught.
What do you do?
They can just stick it.
Yeah. I can't believe it.
Yo,
just has to hold guard.
overtime.
He just has to stand back and watch as the clock gets taken away in the final hour of regulation. Wolves take the lead.
Here the purchase going to be rough for Wolves, but they find that response, finally finding the opportunity to invest the lockdown. I mean, it's another situation where you just see Forsaken again, just digging so deep. Jing hitting the drive-by as well. Zach killed Rob with a follow-up here onto something. This is one ultimately that can bail Jing out in that situation. They're coming into this though. Wolves still have a pit, still have a showstopper. Big tools to work with here in round 24. A moment of silence will drop. Paper X poised now. Cover going out. Once again, it's like actually
kelihatan kepalanya Jing.
Catch him drifting away here, not necessarily looking committed. It being Jing, obviously. Tip of the spear on some of these set pieces, but Paper X are actually going to contact up.
It all feels like the calm before the storm.
Wolves almost scratching their heads here. They invest the pit over, expecting maybe that with that information, Paper X are rotating towards C.
There's the info, but are you ready for the hit? How do you play it for Lysor? Oh my god, he's going for heroics. He went for the heroics and it worked out for one. Not going to get his
nice red.
Now find stability on the site. Into the post plant. Something playing a little further ahead. He wants a one and done and back away.
Harusnya.
No one's giving him
bakal
that
nge-throw
time
sih.
ticking for Paper X here. This is good for them. Still ults in play though. Juicy has his. We've heard that invested. Flies on the side, but something does well. Gets one back. The showstopper does one. Wait, something got lost. And a trade for Spring. It's into a 2v2. It ain't over yet. You're looking at the post plant for Divine and Jing here. Can they hold on to this?
Nice
Shot
delay.
posted by some seconds. They needed to stay
Nice
alive.
banget.
Divine digging
Satu
deep.
lagi,
And
bro.
they're not dead yet. They're not done yet. You should have killed them when you had
Overtime.
a chance. Paper X bringing it back to 12 apiece.
Of course we see overtime here on the first map of this series. An insane exchange here throughout the second half. And Paper X is showing a brazen approach.
No fear.
Almost their trademark game plan here. But Wolves, I gotta say it, seemingly up to the challenge. Everything gets reset now for round 25. Those ultimates will be reset as well. I mean, Wolves in the perfect position to close out now, but
Belum.
back onto the attacking side.
Yeah.
It's going to be critical on this. They've read it. They've read it really well here.
Same piece we've seen previously.
And it worked out well for a 2-2 trade in the end, but this time,
Wah, nice
in
banget.
unison. They're not going to let them even have a chance into this. Denied from the very word go. And Wolves want back in. They're taking the fight.
Satu
You
lagi.
can't do that.
Aduh,
locked in
ngepick
on this.
barengan
A
ternyata.
4v2. They should find stability, Mike. But Wolves look
There.
unwilling to back away. They don't want to go
They're
elsewhere.
expecting Paper X to rotate away from this and
Hampir
give
pas,
up the
Pak.
space, but
Crosshairnya.
Paper X reading this perfectly. Still got both extremities controlled as well, so
It's so difficult. They need a freebie. They need something. And it
Nice.
ain't happening. Paper X
Ya mungkin dong.
looking sharp.
Oke.
Right read, right place, right shot.
Satu lagi. Paper X. Paper
draw
X.
first blood. This set piece once more on the back of the C's name. This time around, no casualties, no trade found. Able to stick the landing. Wolves had to call a timeout here ahead of the second round in overtime.
Propia
impressed by
Kuendes.
mental here though, because they've been put through the ringer on this. Again, it's pressure on them more than anything, right? If you're Wolves, you've already done more than expected.
In fine form today. But yeah, again, usually with Wolves, you'd be talking about, you know, this unknown quantity and, you know, hard to read and stuff like that. The fact that we're talking about actually there is some familiarity between these two teams, it makes it a little bit more interesting because we've seen kind of counters to both approaches.
Yeah.
Paper X showing they're able to dismantle those defaults, and Wolves also looking as if they're very adept at dealing with early round aggression. And I'm with you on that one.
Again, you look at Paper X, they are a legacy team here, right? And they have that one destination in mind, that final stop. But Wolves standing in their way of that grand final. And it's down to the wire between these two. So we go again. Similar scenes, it looks like, right? It almost looks like rinse and repeat, but Jing this time is fast. Oh, and he does get it!
Nice banget.
Has gone down. It looked a little labored, but YU swings in. Oh,
Waduh.
he gets a second. Hold on, Paper X, held back here now.
Spike just behind the wall.
Unlucky,
as well.
unlucky.
Not necessarily a comfortable push out here
That's
for
both
Wolves
players.
to control. Yeah, Divine and Forsaken. I have the spike. Will be given an opportunity to reset a little bit here, but find themselves in a 2v3.
Oh, I thought they were leaving Devi there. God.
Shadows traveling. So no paranoia. Going to be a little gap on a follow-up smoke here. Plant comes through. Juicy still got satchels. Spring still with a snake bite, so a couple of tools here at Wolves' disposal.
So tense now. You're going to need someone to over-deliver, and they do! Paper X taking
Mati dong.
and Spring can't stand! Paper X, it took so long to get there. That legacy team holding strong on that one.
Paper X. Paper X.
Standing pistol round, ah.
Why you
Dude, he's legit NPC full, they should take him.
GG bro. Kalah pengalaman. Harus main di ini pak. Wolves harus main di Pasifik dulu. Wolves harus tahu ini. lingkungan Masters. Oh, tapi jangan langsung sombong kan. Kita lihat apakah map 2 melakukan comeback dari Wolves atau clean sheet 2-0 pindah region NA. Bisa region NA ini ketemu siapa namanya? Tarik. Ketemu Asuna. Iklan. Dan di menit-menit ini biasanya pemain sedang memasuki ini ya, tempat istirahat, memakan snack dari apa namanya, Swiss Bakery, ataupun ini ya, apa namanya, Virgin. Mungkin saat ini Forsaken sedang makan kue bolu. Duh, Jitu lawan Fnatic.
Good form here, good form. Don't shoot the clone. Are you running to a wall? Got the pistol out too on top of that.
Is this 10 Lotus games? Anatawa Nihongo de Yuk, tak kira dangdut guys. Hai. Nihongo. Gode.
What an exciting way to start Masters Toronto here today. I'm now joined by PaperX's coach Alex. Now, everybody credits Wolves as a team that has a lot of structure. How did you and your boys manage to find those gaps on Lotus?
I think it was a very close affair. I honestly didn't think they gave many gaps. We knew what they were doing, but I think we could have done it better. We did a lot of research. I mean, they have a lot of research on Lotus, so it helped a lot.
Nice counter strike there, Coach. Good luck on map 2.
Oh boy, choo-choo, the train ain't stopping. As PaperX managed to pick up the win, 14-12 going into the OT there, and one has to wonder, will have what it takes to be able to force that map 3. Now, for that though, let's actually take a look at our Verizon high-speed moment. We got to give this one to YU because there were some great plays in this one. Mimi, this one in particular shined through.
Yeah, and this is more about the round as a whole, because I think this starts so well for PaperX. Something they did great on their defense was these active trap plays. This one, they get 2 picks, but then in classic PaperX fashion, I think end up overstaying their welcome just a little bit. They lose 2 players there, and then Wolves, after getting this nice double from YU, flicking up to the player on the top angle, Wolves goes on to win this round. And it was rounds like this, the ones that started strong for PaperX, that Wolves bounced back, that made it look like Wolves was going to take this game away in that first half pair.
I love the balance also of having Spring being more the one that is going to push from the defense and YU being the one that was in the lurks in this first half of Lotus. But in the end, somehow, even with them losing these advantages and whatnot, PaperX manages to get back on the board and secure the map.
It's funny because they got theirs back. They gave away some advantages in the first half, but they were the ones winning a lot of clutches. They were the ones bringing it back in the second to push us all the way to OT. That's what you know this PaperX team for.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there are so many good things to talk about with this PaperX team. One individual in particular, got to give it to the man himself, Divide. We saw some wild plays. This one in particular was nuts, because my guy just walked out there.
Ini sama S-nya yang tadi. Nah ini.
Got 2 out of the play.
So many 3Ks, so many very high impact kills that he had. He even got an ace, even though Alex's reaction was not showing that he got an ace. But it was this is one of the disadvantages that they won, and one of the reasons that PaperX was able to secure this map in so many occasions was thanks to Divide's performance.
After PaperX's failures earlier in this year, missing out on Bangkok, having the rough start to stage 1, a lot of fans were calling for Divide's head when they were asking for roster changes. They were saying that he should get dropped, they should find someone new, but I think he's really proved himself in this tournament now, stepping up in some of these later games, showing us the Divide that we've known has been so strong since all the way back at tournaments like Masters Copenhagen, where this team has made finals before.
Yeah, well, of course, a lot of pressure, though, on the other side of the stage for the Wolves as they're facing a potential trip to the lower bracket if they lose this next map. Let's actually go ahead and check in with Coach Fade to hear what he has to think as we get ready for that one.
I'm now joined by Coach Fade from Wolves. Now, this is the first map you've lost this tournament since that Sentinel series. What was the focal point in your team talk about map 2? And is there any concern around stamina if this series goes the distance?
I think we kind of show like nerves again, once again, towards the end of first map. And I think stamina shouldn't be an issue because we had a 3 days break previously, so I think we will be fine.
I hope so. Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, Gading. Oh iya, Malaysia.
All right, and there you see the results that you heard as well. Like they feel good about their stamina for the Wolves, but a 14-12 that has to sting for them as they get ready for map 2, Mimi.
For sure, especially like you were mentioning, this is a team that has not lost a map since the series they dropped to open Toronto against Sentinels. They have been on a non-stop roll up to this point, but now having to go all the way to 3 if they want to make it into the final here.
Oh, but there's such good maps for the side of Wolves, and now we're about to jump into Ascent. And we're going to see something for everybody that enjoys the map that we don't usually see.
Ini main karakternya, bro.
On one hand, we expect them to be playing with the Viper, right? Double controller. And on the other side, a double Sentinel with the Deadlock. That is, of course, if we do not see any changes in agent select. And I think that we were highlighting how well Wolves was doing from their attack with those executes, how good the utility from Lysar is in that agent.
I really like their Deadlock, in particular on the attacking side. It's another map where they play super slow, just like you were watching on Lotus. But what they do well here is putting down their Sentinel utility on space they take, then resetting as a team and clearing elsewhere. So they're kind of putting down these little checkpoints to save parts of the map they have, and then being able to call back into that really late. I think a lot of teams miss out on those little details with juggling the Sentinel utility. They're great there. It's the same on defense. To me, this feels like a really strong map for Wolves to bounce back.
Yeah. I like the way they chop up the map, right, and really give themselves, like you said, a lot of these openings. The thing is, though, is that we have seen now a couple times PaperX kind of feed the beast one too many times here. And I think with Deadlock and the way that this team can play this one, Mimi, this could be quite problematic for them if they're not careful and checking their P's and Q's.
For sure, yeah. They have to be on point with taking calculated risks, but it definitely paid off in the first game here. Let's take a look at the comps and PaperX locking in something now.
Oh, they're going back to something, you know, more standard in this case. They've moved away from the Gecko and the Raze. I had a feeling that was going to happen, but I love, Mimi, the fact that they're sticking with this double controller and the Viper.
I really like the Viper comps on this map. I think they've always been strong on defense, especially Device look great. But this is much more sensible in terms of the rest of the utility. You're going to put a lot into something. I'm looking at what he can do with the AWP, starting on this defensive side, and what protocols Wolves have to deal with that.
Another player that we have to look at is Patman. Very quiet performance in the first map, something that is very, very different from what we've been seeing for the rest of the tournament from him.
Yeah, and he's going to have a lot of responsibility here, because I think like you're going to want that KO maybe to try and like flash a bit with the Deadlock there to prevent that utility from being a bit of a problem. Try and sniff those things out. He's going to have a tall task ahead of him without a doubt here. Curious to see how this one plays out, because really it feels like both teams are doing their homework coming into this.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, I think that we also need to look at Forsaken. I think that one of the things that PaperX have to take great care of, number one is YU, because he's going to be most likely the one that is playing outside of the pack, and that could break some of the timings of Wolves that like to wait so much, and that is why I'm looking at these players to focus on.
Oh boy, all right, well, it's time now to get ready for map number 2. Toronto, you want to see a map 3? I said you want to see a map 3,
saya mau tidur.
Let's send it back over to your casters who very much want a map 3. Here's Pansy and Hypod.
And you really can't blame us after map 1. 14-12, it tipped the way of PaperX in OT. But what a wild ride it was to get there. Now on Ascent though, Mike, has this changed any of your expectations?
I mean, you look at this, really, the upset would have come from Lotus for me. If Wolves could close out here, PaperX struggled domestically here on Ascent. They obviously have the loss to Genji previously here, sorry.
Fear nothing.
Now for Wolves to get back in control of this series.
Mel kan game changer.
Because Split should be an absolute barn burner if we get there.
Please, look, I
always delivers, man. A Split decider, always.
Oh, God. Okay, well, let's see if they can get there first. For PaperX, though, in their minds, there's always been one goal, and it's the grand finals, right? This team put together, went back to the drawing board to rebuild.
There was a great line from Devi, I think, in one of the interviews, talking about every time he sees the champs LA finisher in-game, it haunts him. A couple of them actually just saw them brought up on map 1.
So again, you've got to have been starving to truly understand hunger, and for PaperX, they've never really got that first place. Not when it mattered, so for them, probably the best chance they've had in a minute's time, but still, it will be Wolves on the attack, PaperX on the defending side. Something tries to stake his claim towards middle, but will be
dimajuin ya, P-mainnya.
Back on the Sheriff actually here.
P-main dimajuin, mati pak, something.
Close and personal, sure, actually Forsaken caught on the retreat back.
Maybe not thinking to have filled that space yet, but there is still 2 players on this side of the map for PaperX, so Patman's still here. Jing's still on this side too. Slow and steady again for Wolves. And it looks like PaperX wants this back, but it's just going to end up being a brawl, isn't it? They're ahead of the smoke, but what's the util on the corner? There isn't any. So Jing and Patman do really well. Eventually they trade it effectively though. Wolves keep the man to the good, and they get the site for themselves.
Man to the good, something down to 34 HP as well. But 2 Sheriffs on the side of PaperX here. Could pack a punch here on the retake. For a spam, actually, the exchange back and forth. Still got a drone in play here for CFAT BB.
That is lovely. Gonna have to keep themselves tucked in on this. I think both potentially spotted yet. And that was huge for this. Something can't get the shot. CFAT BB off to a great beginning. But again, for Wolves, you got to make it work on these attacking sides.
Absolutely do. Talked about that being the main objective on Lotus. He did deliver.
One enemy remaining.
He repeats it here once more.
Berdiri lagi. Oh enggak.
He can't get that economy building, as Mimi mentioned. What he can get done with the operator potentially on the defensive side, always a factor on Ascent.
Right here.
Wolves have the tools to really prevent that from happening. Fairly invested here on round 2 as well. Respect being shown to Paper X. It's only Spring on a Sheriff, Bulldogs across the board. Actually, with that round 1, Fat BB already halfway to the Hunter's Fury as well, so looking for further progress potentially.
But again, a reminder of that last map too. These rounds aren't free. When it comes to that second round, even if it's just a Sheriff, even if it's just classics, Paper X will make something out of it. For now though, again, it's a considered approach from Wolves, taking their time around the map, doing their due diligence, and Fat BB will be working towards, as said, that, or I imagine probably getting priority on that here. Caution needs to be shown. That deep haunt over towards B, you should have seen on the mini-map. Pretty indicative of no one's there, and the connection of the knife. So they should be pretty locked in for what's happening.
I have the spike.
Considering
balik lagi kah ke mid, memutari 3.
30 seconds left. They need to find progress somewhere.
Apakah Jing di expert?
Especially with players like Jing tucked up. Very deep position. Laboured, but Wyu comes out on top.
Yeah, the paranoia goes into sight, so they should be able to kind of springboard through this. Unless someone wants to smoke, now you can't. Now you're held back. It feels like the anti-Paper X, doesn't it? But they still find a way through. Divide, up and over the top, but at this point the plant's going to be so very difficult to find much surprise, even ahead of maybe that deadlock util. You've got to be cautious. Again, you can afford losing one player, that being Spring. The rest you don't want to lose, and Wyu took a risk. But he should be fine here. Yes, stability looking good. Fat BB
flawless.
Going to be building very close to that. Oh, and a lovely round in the end from Wolves there, Mike.
Nice try, nice try, nice try.
BB did have the spike, but can't coming through elsewhere. Still, fantastic progress made.
I got scared here though.
Tiga kah?
Yeah. And the Bulldogs sometimes can be a little hard to tame. Fat BB not having that issue in that regard. Sticking the spray. Now that purchase, especially with Spring upgrading as well,
this is
makes this round 3 doable here for Wolves. See 2 light shields on the side of Paper X as well for something, and Forsaken.
They're fighting on every front though, Paper X here. Pressure down B main, pressure down Cap, pressure on towards A main. It's a really risky ploy. I guess it does burn some of that early util for Wolves though, so there is that, and they're really committing the paranoia on that too.
Cover going out.
Spring on the opposite side here.
If Spring even comes out positive in any of this, it would be incredible for him.
Good, yeah.
So in the meantime, look at where the spike's going, Mike.
I think if he can show presence or something actually. Forsaken's walked all the way up as well.
They don't know about Forsaken. No, it's a quick beheading. Couldn't get the follow-up on Lysor, and it might be the green light to go towards B. Still a player to hold his Divider down low, but still standing and still breathing on 35. He takes Wyu out of the equation. Now starting to flounder a bit. You can see it with Wolves. This was only their bonus, but still struggling to find the landing on this up against the 4 remaining for Paper X. That's going to be dealt with. You look at that mid lurk coming into effect too. That's not going to find the value they want. And yes, something clean with it. Lysor still making something.
Winnable. 3 lawan 2.
He can get through here. Oh my god, it's risky off the back, but still. Now the smoke dissipates on. Oh! The smoke going down on CT opens up chance here. Divide tries to find that second before the paranoia lands, but 8 seconds now. Stop it, Wolves!
Yeah. Oh.
One by one, they are taking down Paper X, and Jing seems unaware of the possibility of Spring being so close. Smokes of his own and a couple of TPs. How do you divide and conquer this? I do not know. But all eyes drawn to that potential in the smoke. Jing steps forward, smoke goes down! And Spring finds him! Mike, I can't believe what I just saw!
Conversion on the bonus here. Talked about the threat with all those Bulldogs. It looks like Paper X initially come out with a win to catch this kill, but not just that, the information that Wolves are descending upon B site for some key pieces of utility, key damage towards Divide in that initial exchange.
You can finally
pays off massively for Wolves. Get themselves the upper hand here to kick off map 2.
And I'm waiting with bated breath, right? Because that's a huge start for them. Because I feel like once you get Paper X on the attack, they come into their own, right? Able to control the tempo, kind of do what they please. But if you can stake a good claim for yourselves, The opportunity's yours. Why you? Quick reminder, the PaperX are lethal no matter the weaponry, and that is going to be an upgrade for something. Might pass that over depending on the shield situation, but still, good stall here.
Oh,
And
yeah, drone cancelled.
massive. Patman. Is he going to get to live here? There's a lot of targets that all could be sent towards, and yeah, grabbed. But Divine in the meantime, going to take down Juicy. Hold on, this is not completely secure by any means. They're in a 3v3, sure, but look at the HP of Lysor. See if BB does have his ult, but I don't think he can get away from that default plant spot. So Spring waiting. Now sees that. Forsaken, are you aware? Going to be held up back towards
hilang,
two players on site.
mati.
Towards short. Nice from
Nice
Spring,
trade.
goes down. And now something and Divine need to come together in this. Somehow figure it out.
Eh,
The
ya
deep
Allah.
off angle from Lysor was lovely. Leaving Divine.
Oh, nice banget.
What a shot. You got one more of those. You've done it before. You had the ace before. The man is a monster, but he's got to prove it now. And see if that BB has been ice cold in these. He knows the time. He knows the tempo. Oh, what is that from Divino? A bolting shot, and once again doing the
What a clutch.
The Red Bull clutch here for Divine. Continuing to deliver here today in this series.
One enemy
God
remaining.
damn. Just
Ini
give the man
timing
a
sih. Keren.
Another
Davai mengambil timing yang sangat keren.
to add to the list.
Membawa secercah hadapan bagi.
Default plant spot safe initially.
Kenapa?
Position,
Kecil
see if that BB
Membawa secercah hadapan bagi
can get a cheeky half defuse in, or
Apex.
you can go ahead and stick it. It forces the hand, especially with the recon bolt being used so early on.
Now they start pressuring the point. Look at that deep line already
There it
adopted
is.
by something in that operation. Sit towards that. Prowler going to be clearing. One nearby now.
My ult is ready.
And the ult gathered too. So a nice early step, but a fast mid fake coming out from the Wolves.
Potential to backstab this. I think they're reading into maybe some deep presses. Yeah, we'll catch the backside of something for sure. And the second player.
Ooh, that is bravery. Why are you swinging that? Forsaken doubling down. It's a mistake and a punish. Is why you will lap that up. And now that B-side looks so vulnerable.
Flash will guarantee the cross. Juicy's going to find Divide as well. And actually, yeah, that might just be
Spike planted.
the white flag put up from PaperX here to hold on to these weapons. Feeding into this potentially with Juicy. Close to that ultimate. Spring's actually already on the hunt. He wants to prevent any semblance of safety here. The remaining PaperX players. Gonna pick up a deep position in spawn though. There's still maybe a question mark if they're in towards market or in towards spawn. Well, they will progress any further, but yeah, I usually talk about discipline and that was a lack of respect to something.
Yep.
Yeah, did he even get a shot off? Why he was just so quick to that?
Yeah, they seem really aware. Again, this kind of, it's not necessarily that regional matchup at all, but, you know, scrim partners and the information on this ahead of that swing, it was really well dismantled.
Yeah.
Again, Forsaken's fault as well, just felt it was too late to be going for that. There's no trade to be there.
I think,
Desperation.
yeah, again, once you notice the drone that's come forward, you're not just swinging onto YU there. Again, it's almost an expected response here from PaperX. They deal with the trip. They want to post something on a much deeper sight line. Again, the Prowler's sent through as well. So it's actually Wolves that have the upper hand in terms of the information game. It's a question mark for PaperX, actually, who's behind that. And the punish, unfortunately, there for them. Will leave them at a 4-1 deficit now. Timeout called. There's a purchase. Considering considering the rifles behind this, maybe want to make a play for an orb here for something to offset that slightly. It's Forsaken going to be riding a stinger coming into this, but already a fantastic start for Wolves. Looking composed.
Yep.
As well, just hearing from Faye talking about how much actually those days off have paid off, because they've had Like we said, with the comeback in Gen G, the resilience shown, that takes a lot from a team. Even if they're all smiles and on their feet on the stage and stuff, behind closed doors, no doubt, no doubt that reset absolutely necessary to continue here in Toronto.
Yeah, spot on. So for them, it is now just how long can you keep this up? How clean can you keep this game? PaperX so far with that one round, but of course did have that timeout. You can hear the ults coming through as well for something. Ryu's kind of have their number on this B side, but it feels like they're getting the right read here. But you can go through the pit on this? No, brave enough to go for the ult orb, but that's about all she wrote. But that mid-cross is dangerous now.
I think I did just hear something.
Dilihatin sama KO.
Looking like as bad a situation here for
menuju
PaperX.
market.
I must wait a moment. They try and navigate their way around the pit.
Looks like it, right?
TP back here from Juicy to potentially
B-nya hanya untuk memancing sepertinya.
collapse on B side very
Mati.
quickly.
Oh ya Allah.
To do that to something,
Hampir mati ya. Nggak hampir sih.
doing that to something twice
Ya
now,
hampir
it's been
lah.
outswung. If you don't think these wolves are gunners, you are
Molly untuk
absolutely
delay.
wrong. But now they've manipulated
Scan,
that well.
apa scan?
Now they want to maybe hit that
Pengikat
cross back in again.
tadi
This is where those stickers
Forsaken.
start suffering. You're not in the right place from a Jason
Oh, nice
to hold
banget,
his
Jing.
ground. Paranoia primed and sent
Waduh,
down
blend
through.
semua, bagus,
Tries
bagus,
to
bagus.
escape, but he gets out at least for now. Patman's found Mike, Story's got support. Spring. Super Beanie, that's sliding
Nice.
into Patman.
Nice banget.
How's he just gone 4 there?
Batman.
Puts himself in a deadly position and delivers here for PaperX.
I need to watch that one back.
It just jumps down. Able to get behind this so quickly. Beautiful stuff from him. No semblance of comfort back in the coach booth whatsoever. Operator back in hand now for something. All stacked up in mid now. The smoke will obscure for the time being.
Who's next?
So Juicy going to try and pave the way. Actually, right, Red's it round the corner there.
And something seems unafraid at all, and he gets out of danger. Trying to combine it with a Hunter's Fury, but it finds no value, really. And now Forsaken just stands his ground. This feels like it's fallen flat here for Wolves. PaperX getting a good read and a good idea. It's going to need a hero to stand tall. Spring's done well towards Batman. Doesn't expect Devi, so close. Great trade for Devi there. And now just 2 remaining. Juicy and Sufat Baby in a 2v4, Mike.
Sufat.
I mean, it would be a tilter.
I mean, they should find a straight 2v2 on either side here, but the issue being something is posted up. The operator.
Flash masih
not many
2 sih.
tools left to
Bahaya.
said that. Recon and Juicy with a full belt almost.
Cuma harusnya enggak.
Trying to send it to the fake, I
Driving
guess.
lah.
30 seconds left.
Nice idea. But it's not going to dissuade these players. They don't need to move.
PaperX can sit in this formation now, and I think actually Wolves, because they don't get a bite.
Yeah, looks like a cancel.
I mean, YU 450, Spring 1350, and
10
Lysol
seconds left.
struggling to scrape together any funds here. So PaperX will find their third. Keep things honest in the start of Ascent. Let's see how the ultimates play here. It's only a TP for Spring, and as you can see on PaperX now, absolutely nothing and a million miles away from anything, to be honest with you. So a slight advantage in that regard, but it's not much. Lysol going to be potentially the next key ultimate for the Wolves.
I've got to say as well, for me, good to start seeing Patman find a bit of impact too. He's been a really good player for them.
Yeah, a quiet map one as well, so seeing him come online, certainly a positive.
Oh, Forsaken, got the timing so right. He's so blind. So a good bit of spacing and trading from Juicy just to swing that. But the next layer to this is still something. There's no pressure towards middle, but he's very paranoid about it. They want in on this. Still not noting him. The stall's there. If they try and disrespect it, it's going to be brutal. And it is. yet way too difficult on the way.
Okay.
What is that? You're 1 HP. You're not meant to be doing this sort of stuff. And now Spring left in a 1v2 as well. So unwilling to deny that scale up towards B was their right idea.
They're wrapping the spike as well. Both Jing and something.
This guy's paranoia, smoke, TPs. He's got a bit of kit here to play with though, Mike.
He's left guessing. Potentially, yeah, going to get himself a clean plant. Smoke towards CT kind of implies he's not expecting this wrap.
Kind of does. TP should be noted too, that paranoia. What do you do with it? Yeah, a little interested on that, but the corner slow. Beaks going to get you past something, and he's going to take a stand on that one. But it felt like Wolves were so headstrong in wanting to hit towards that B site, but the scaling up just didn't feel right there.
Initially, that first kill, Forsaken gets caught here with the flash. Revealing area. Again, you look at the minimap at that moment, and there is a huge gap in the Paper X defense. So happens. I mean, Juicy picks up a little momentum, but that kill there, he was down to 1 HP, and the shorty connects from here. Just as the door is about to close.
Something.
Potentially sealing that post plant for Wolves, to be honest with you.
Yeah, felt like it. And now Wolves starting to run dry, it looks like. Again, when we're talking about these sort of big stage games, it is that level of comfort on here when you're under the gun, because yes, they did lose out to, what was it, Sen early on, but beyond that, they've not really dropped a map for Wolves. They've been on that kind of momentum run. So now they're starting to hit that brick wall, right? You kind of expect it in towards these sort of games. The caliber just keeps increasing. I want to see how well they do in this. Obviously, they did great against Gen G. That, to me, was the tick in the box of authenticity.
Yeah, that's the turning point.
Yeah, like everything else, I feel like, okay, maybe people underestimated them. Maybe they...
Yeah, because you have that step up again for playoffs where it's like, obviously, the stakes get raised. And we're not talking about elimination for Wolves, but certainly the caliber increases, the pressure definitely correlates with that. And then you step into a series versus Paper X. Talk about Gen G being an international titan, but
Paper X, I mean, God,
apakah akan comeback lagi?
No,
Comeback.
it's really not. And again, I think that because of their lack of, you know, let's say international trophy, that there has been that worry about them, how well they do, their expectations. But they are still a grand finalist team, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That's just something that doesn't even need to be said half the time. But at this point, they've course corrected well. They've got everything back to where they like it. And for something, he's going hunting. He knows where the man is.
Yeah, Cam dealt with quickly.
Ayo keluar, ayo keluar, ayo keluar.
Situation developing outside A site. But the Knight is going to have given that info across.
Oke banget.
Really juicy with a rifle here and
ketahuan.
That if you may.
Dia harusnya tahu sih di sana semua. Bisa mempersempit vision, nggak vision sih, ruang geraknya.
You don't often see fights this deep on the map, but welcome to Paper X, I guess.
Yeah, Paper X just don't want Wolves to sit back and set up here, preventing any rotation back towards the
tinggal diem harusnya. 40 detik nggak bakal pindah side kan?
Probably still knowing exactly what's going on.
Yeah, look at this.
The snake bite and the fragment.
Oh, this is an awful sight to have to try and approach. Basically dry at this point. Yeah, Juicy still gonna get down.
Oh nice.
Okay, guys, you were primed for this.
Nice, satu lagi udah tahu dong.
Oh,
okay. T-back there is something.
5-4 now, tipping the scales on their side. And I've got to say, Wolves looking a little bit shaken by this.
Yeah, and I guess, I don't want to say lost for answers, but unable to really troubleshoot with some of these approaches that Paper X are displaying here on the scent. Juicy, again, good for 2 on the way in here.
Yeah, surprise.
A moment where Dubai can't ping down Spring.
Tenang, Devin.
Paper X watch party loving that one, but 5-4 we go back through. Buyback in play. And it looks simplistic in approach, it looks direct, and something looks to turn this operator.
I got the spike.
into a shotgun. I mean, he's feeling himself here. It's a really risky play. It's now been
nice.
Great target selection. Catching Sufat maybe just in towards the owl drone. And he's still standing. He looks like he wants to absolutely pop off here. And he is. One by one they come. And one by one they fall. Can he find that final man as well? YU looking to try and take towards the site. Something's been dominant about this so far. The double swing. Position noted. Something's going hunting. Hungry for his 4-3 already in the round. There's not much to be done for YU here, Mike.
Especially not now. Really a solid idea of where he's at. PaperX just want to decisively close out round 10 here.
No escape. Nowhere to hide. Something gets his fourth, and he's just getting scarier and scarier as the game goes on.
Like they're channeling into that 6th gear. Putting up now 5 rounds unanswered for PaperX. Oh, did start a 4-1 scoreline here. The tides certainly have turned. We'll actually draw out a second timeout here from Wolves on the opening stretch of Ascent.
Timeout lagi.
Desperate, I guess, from Fade to try and recover things here.
Santai.
Jangan
Jangan terburu-buru. Ini kita bisa menang. Santai. Ini jangan sekali-sekali melupakan sejarah.
Because I guess this is the uncharted territory for this team, right?
Tinggal lurus, mikir, main mikir. Ini aja masa nggak bisa mikir. Ini. Kalau di ini, kamu nggak mikir ya? Ayolah, bisa menang ini kita, bisa. Begitulah kira-kira yang diucapkan sifat Bibi.
But the reality is normally that fairy tale falls short. There's been very few occasions where it's gone the whole distance. You could argue EG at Champs was probably one of the only ones that ever made it.
The outlier, yeah.
That is it. PaperX have been that fairy tale run in the past, but they never quite made it themselves. For Wolves, they have to face that reality now. How bad do you want it? Do you have really what it takes to push someone like PaperX away from something they are singularly focused on? At grand final,
di B main. Oh, spray bagus banget. Nggak kena sheriffnya.
And a tag or two, but Forsaken happy with that. Something will follow up here. YU will fall.
Tawan dong. Mati dong.
Just see Fat BB now.
They're making it hurt, Mike.
This is when it's rough to play against PaperX. They know when to keep on pressuring.
Last round and a half.
Any say in the round. When he's saying the half as well. That's 6 now.
2-0 nih.
No
Bismillah 2-0.
Beautiful.
Didn't even look like that was going to land as well.
Simply lovely from PaperX. And as said, the pressure starts weighing on the chest for Wolves. It's still a manageable scoreline.
By the way, ini emang musim berdiri-berdiri yang strength.
And they're feeling these rounds, and there's aggression again.
Semuanya
Something wants that deeper line,
berdiri.
and he's got it for starters.
This is why it's so rough to play against PaperX though. When they get themselves ahead,
Blind spray dari
they know to not let up.
Siapa tadi? Lysor.
Potentially find a 7-5 here.
Sor with Talon.
Big tick in the box.
Oh, bang on. With that wherewithal,
Hampir aja spraynya kena.
discipline, that capability in the high pressure games now is the biggest test for them. Looking a little fraught here so far. Last couple of rounds just
sama-sama nungguin.
not quite been in the wheelhouse, and again
Scan Nikon sama KO.
Fragment to prevent anybody slipping the smoke, even though Divide on watchful guard here, tucked into logs, because I mean PaperX can sit in this formation.
Oh god.
Oh, hampir
He does get caught playing ahead there. That is one thing that's worked in their favor. He tried to lean a little forward, gets punished. But Forsaken, the Guardian in this one, keeping them at bay. And look at who slipped towards the site in the meantime. Jing still here, doing the dart.
Nice.
Does it well.
Waduh, hampir
Takes
aja.
down another. Forsaken popping up with 20 seconds. The
2v1.
leader
Menang dong.
has to
Nice
stop
banget.
falls to Forsaken at 8-4. Such a commanding scoreline.
Confidentnya PaperX
Resilience will
naik.
be tested once more.
Harusnya
Try and come
easy
back
win
here.
sih.
Said 7-5, doable 8-4. I mean, it's a pistol round 2 potentially that makes this such a huge deficit to come up against.
Yeah, they've got their work cut out now for Wolves. This is a tough scenario. PaperX singular in their goal.
Guys, the last time we had a chance to speak with each other, it was during an Americas matchup in LA. What's the vibes like here in Toronto in a sold-out Masters Toronto?
Yeah, I think it's insane because the East Coast and Canada hasn't had an event like this in a long time, and Los Angeles always has events like this. So the crowd, I feel like you guys are like super excited to finally be here in person and watching the games. Like, you guys are insane.
Toronto, you're excited? Hell yeah. And now you've played, you have some experience playing in Game Changers before, so you have an eye for skill. In this matchup so far between PaperX and Wolves, who do you have your eye on so far?
Okay, honestly, at first I wasn't gonna say this, but after that ace with the deagle on that defuse round, Devi.
So does that mean Devi and PaperX are taking it serious?
Yeah, I mean, I got PRX rocket on my sleeve right now, so I think they're gonna scare us a little, make it a close match, but I think PRX is gonna like close it out. I'm sorry, Wolves. I'm sorry. You've been great though.
Well, Wolves, you know what to do. It's time to Thank you so much, one more time, Sin City. Let's bring it back to the game.
Vansili's sending it on that. He's such a bold man. You know
I think
what I mean?
he's actually been rehearsing that for the last few days.
That's what I've been hearing in the hotel.
A few howls, yeah.
Yeah, fair play. And they're going to need a couple because 4 rounds isn't many, right? PaperX sat on 8. You can see on the Coinbase icon what kind of just the lay of the land, really. And it has been a bit of the something show in my mind. He has elevated. I was worried after that first round with the operator. It didn't seem to phase him. He was right back into business.
Yeah, and I think the issue being now coming into the second half, you see the string of rounds. It's been collected by PaperX. Wolves haven't had much of a say in some of these losses. Yes, coming down to maybe a 1v1 here and there, but all the crucial kills feel as if they went PaperX's way. Like I said, we started at a 4-1 scoreline. Now it being 8-4, a pistol and a round 2
Iya bro.
can often
Gak relax.
seal the fate of a team.
Main karakternya nggak relax ini.
Juicy on the line here. First contact made, that's 2 players, and a third now noted. That's a lot of info. See if BD is being bold about this, but he's been revealed, he's been just about everything, but they've weathered the storm.
Yeah, I think initially there, the further investment of utility implied that PaperX were going to follow through, but maybe the Prowler catching on CUFAB BB made them think there's potentially a little bit of a stack.
The timing on this. I saw. Lovely timing on that, but something is free. A little bit of a dig though, going to do some serious work. Spring's already down low, now even lower.
Nice banget, nice banget.
Trailblazing their way forward. The A site is their goal.
Secara persentase enggak kecil kemungkinannya buat kalah.
IU and CUFAB BB, a 2v4. A couple of members of PaperX
Main
tagged up.
karakter tuh berusaha mencari info.
Swing this in Wolves'
Atau
favor.
kah
Have to overcome the
hanya
odds
menunggu
here.
untuk mati dengan spike
PaperX just poised.
atau
Anybody
coba
to
mencari
step out.
wow
Actually,
waduh ya Allah.
Okay, it's not over yet, but YU's going to come into this as well. Jing's quieting down, but CUFAB BB's going to see both players basically. He's got to know where they are. A desperate attempt.
Okay, masih aman, masih aman, masih aman.
But PaperX
GG's
take
go
another
next.
step in the right direction.
Masih aman ini Tan.
Of double digits. Yet as soon as they find, I guess what they perceive as a point of weakness, they follow through. Wolves not able to even
Skip karena
backtrack.
reveal. Apa ya ini ya?
Well
Kayak
invested
nggak
here
lepas
for
lah.
round 2 as well.
Mapnya Wolves tuh.
Don't want to leave anything up to chance.
Wolverhampton.
Rifles except for Patman and Forsaken.
Tuh. Iya,
That's Wolves set up in a little bit of a stack here. Flash in's only going to slow down the inevitable, it feels. Maybe toying with the idea of contesting that orb, but doesn't happen. I think Paper X probably smell
yep.
something.
There's a trap around that corner, guys.
Something.
Feels weird over there.
Triple pick ada di arah market. B-main sorry. Dari
I was
market.
curious there if Forsaken was going to show some utility on the other side of the map because it's just
pergi
Lysol,
ke market menuju
Divine
mid
actually
dan sabar.
He's calling a cancel on that.
Banget.
That's one. There's more,
nice,
and it's cleared systematically, one by one. The flash through the smoke is nice. See that BB is already noted as well. Can't really fall away from the stairs. Jing already takes the angle. Paper X looking locked in here, Mike. They are pulling no punches.
No, they're not. Again, showing diligence this time
30
around.
seconds left.
And that's when it really flips the switch. Wolves the ones to left, kind of to sweat in this scenario. Almost a second guess themselves, but Jing,
nice.
a third found and a 10th on the board for Paper X. This buy round is huge for Wolves, and this bonus even bigger for Paper X if they can find it. Only the one casualty.
Wolves belum
So they come into round
nemu
3.
counter yang tepat. Biasanya fast win.
Flushed out in terms of the
Paper X
inventory.
main cepet-cepet tuh.
Pac-Man actually just going to ride a sheriff through
Tapi
here.
nggak tahu kenapa yang di
Forsaken and
match
Jing
ini
closest in terms of
lebih
this old cycle.
terorganize.
Nothing of note for Wolves, but potentially a pace change. Just initially, Forsaken going to retrieve one orb. Trying to retrieve one orb.
Yeah, couple times of asking. All good.
But don't have control over towards A main, so.
A little bit cagey as a start, isn't it? You can see the.
I mean, it's a huge ultimate to have in the bonus, so you know they're going to want to come for this orb.
Netnya udah keluar.
Here it is. They've taken the talk.
And actually, Lysor and Spring do peel away.
Now they've cleared B main. If you're looking at Wolves' side, they cleared B main. So they might leave YU here, but you can already see that rotation coming in.
3 dari arah 3.
Paper X aren't dead set just yet. I think maybe going to prioritize towards short here to catch somebody out. They don't want to walk into this choke point.
No, and that's going to encourage the play forward, but denied Forsaken with the first blow. And it could be a lethal one if that juicy. It's flavored, but job done, and Lysol does well.
Jadi something. Waduh, malah mati bro. Oke, ya apa-apa. 1 lawan 2, tapi yo. Gak tahu ini bakal.
20 seconds, he's got to make a miracle out of this.
Wah, timingnya.
3 players, Forsaken.
1 lawan 3.
Not gonna get it.
Waduh.
A lifeline for Wolves.
Enggak apa-apa.
Standing as well, just an armor.
Hiburan.
Shield to
Anggap
repurchase
aja
here for
tadi
Juicy.
hiburan ya teman-teman. Untuk teman-teman Wolverhampton.
Was the bonus, so Paper X is going to come back in, and because Pac-Man only brought a sheriff to the party,
Spike down A. Spike down.
it's almost rinse and repeat here. Not out of the woods just yet.
Welcome back.
Cannot get the ball
Welcome
rolling in
back.
terms of the comeback.
Come back to my channel. Gitu
But again, though,
katanya.
this was something that was said about that BB was building up his players, right? Keeping them confident, trying to keep them in the game. He's going to have to keep doing that because Paper X don't stop. Even in their losses, they will still
dari
play confident games.
Viper.
Something taking space. Solo Endeavor. 2
Divide,
players on the other
divide.
side. Zufat, BB, and Lysor playing top mid off the back of that trip placed in as well. So they've got a lot to play off of here. Very difficult scenario. Patman on that deeper line in case someone does swing. It's got to be those early protocols being cleared.
I mean, it is a duelist's nightmare to play into this composition. But Lysor.
Nice. Wallnya udah
So they can still have confidence behind
hancur.
that. They've read it wrong to an extent, right? They're kind of falling for this fade pressure.
Tapi utilnya Spring masih semua ya.
So once again, eyeing up this A site. This is brutal. You got Juicy still here, you got Spring still here, but Paper X are right at the door now. And away they go. Something looks the wrong way and gets punished.
Masih punya paranoia yang keluar.
Tries to slow the roll here, buy time for these rotations. Pressure from main held back by the smoke, but Divide gonna lean forward.
Kena flash anti-flashnya Divide. Nice banget. 3 lawan 3. Menang senjata. Oh sama tuh. Harusnya menang sih ini. Kalau nggak aneh-aneh.
Nobody from Paper X overstepping. They're tucked in right now.
Dor. Kelihatan pundaknya tuh.
Some damage made. So they could know 2 players off of this. That third is a problem.
Akankah memilih untuk save? Ya Allah. Oke. Sing for the win.
11 rounds to their name.
Yang membawa Paper X ke round ke angka 11 maksudnya.
A tough loss here.
2 lagi bro. Ini bracketnya. Masters Toronto. Bracket.
Daunting to approach this round 17.
Oh, you get that sinking feeling in your stomach,
yes,
don't
for
you?
Sure, yeah.
Your money's
NIBR.
You haven't really found a way to handle Paper X. Maybe your chances existed and died on that first map, but they're not out yet.
Paper X lawan G2 kah? Final.
Start hearing that music play, can't you? That 12th round looking likely, but in its way, a couple of sheriffs, Ghost, and a team with a whole lot of hopes here.
Oh,
Paper X, they've got their own plan in mind, and that's a big investment and a big shot. Lysol lands it, so Jing's gone down. That's a weapon recoverable if they want it.
Yeah, Paper X actually aren't in a position to capitalize elsewhere. They're spread so thin. Spike not committed anywhere just yet. So that man advantage will stand for the time being. No weapon recovered though for Wolves.
Oh.
Nice.
Nice from Patman. Big kill there on towards Juicy. And that knife should reveal at least one more. So do they need to turn away from this? Or do they just keep stepping forward? It feels a little headstrong for my taste, but it's Paper X. You kind of know what you're in for here. Lysol was the one to do the damage. It looks like they're trying to trail up towards heaven.
Nice.
Something bulldozes forward. YU, great shot. 25 seconds, and Lysol still standing. Has to go above and beyond here. One down. He's doing the dance.
Nice.
So elusive and evasive to try and land those shots.
Match point.
He was so far
Yuk,
away.
match point yuk.
Batman is low. Forsaken is not. I know.
Keren. Hampir saja guys. Untungnya bisa ke match point ya.
And the final stand has to be now for Wolves.
This time Paper X able to wait out.
Oh ini jam terbang sih.
Navigate their way into this defense.
Atau mungkin si Fat Bibinya ini pegel ya. Akhirnya kan berdiri duduk. Like D. Tapi jadi kecapean ini kayaknya. Kayak nggak konsen gitu.
Few members just one away from some of these key ultimates, but we'll
even
get a chance to see them. Juicy, see Fat BB. No command here from Patman.
Okay. Anti-setup though, which is nice. So they're still going to get a bit of a reward from this, right? It starts feeling very, very likely. Layers of ults though. Lysol could be in trouble here. See Fat BB trying to get on site, but Juicy goes unattended, unchecked, and he's rewarded. Great kills on 2. Finding more would be mythical at this point. But for Paper X, they are left in tatters. Mike, I don't know if they could do it with just these 2 players. Desperation play from Batman.
Tawan, backside. Alah. Siapa?
What feels like the inevitable with 3 still alive.
Belum jijitan.
Clinging to life here. The neural theft being the catalyst for Paper X. They know they have to fight for sight there.
Anti lah.
I think Patman walked down to just a lick of HP.
Yeah.
Duh, ngantuk guys.
Chance for them to sit back and try and defend that, but Juicy really the one to stop this from spiraling out of control.
Sudah jam 1.
Paying off.
Waduh, berdiri lagi guys, like day.
Yeah, it does.
Still got ults though. I say ult. And it's a scary one. with something. He's had a really good map here. Can they deny him now? Can they stop it now? Spring forced away, looking a little shaky, but something's fallen.
He's caught the trip, nobody broke it for him.
Which is a little bit worrying. That could be a tilter for him there, because that was meant to be their kind of, I guess, main part of the piece.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a nightmare for a duelist to play into this composition, but you really need that second or third man in line.
Kiri aman.
Juicy. Deals with Jing handily.
A bit worried there that he'd found like a, the dream gap to try and punish, but not to be. PaperX try and do what they can, and Wolves aren't allowing it. Batman does well towards side. Let's see if that BB still on the back lines. Doesn't need to overextend himself. Waits for the swing. Wolves control this well, Mike.
Double digits.
Wih, jangan. Mantap.
That's where I'll start.
Gitu kata Fat BB.
It takes one round. PaperX up to 12 here. And that is a frustrating one for something.
Yeah, again, just looking at the minimap, there's two members here down in Arch. The time that happened, and again, I'm not saying dealing with a trip and something goes wild there, but Blade Storm invested in that sort of round in particular. You never want to see a Jet having to invest a knife to deal with a trip, especially with two people in close proximity. But
nice timing.
Certainly a big deal, all things considered. Looking for revenge up here.
Yeah, this time he wants it.
Coba. Apa ini? Strat apa ini?
The rest of the team split throughout. A bit of a default coming out from PaperX. Maybe trying to catch some of the aggression. Jing's got to be cautious as well. Going to spell out Lysol.
Nih ada deadlocknya.
And this is a creep towards A. Look at the pressure springs in potential trouble.
Cek
Does have his
bagian
paranoia if he needs it. Investment of the open come down the other side of the map though. Juicy's going to clear and give away. There's no one here, but they don't know about Jing. He's been able to slip ahead early. They don't know.
Nice banget, nggak di-extract sama deadlocknya. Oke, mantap. Ya Allah. Gak apa-apa, 2v2.
Expectation, but it is a 2v2. Don't think it's over yet. Spike is there.
Ambil lagi.
Sent back away, plants coming in.
Look at the pit as well.
Oh my god, this is going to be down to the wire, isn't it? Divide disconnected towards A main. You have Jing tucked towards site. Spring.
Oh just missed it.
Timing, unbelievable. Spring trying to play the game, and Jing now going to be doing the around the world here, but they've given up position. This could be a mistake here, but they don't know about it. Obviously, they don't know about it. The pit's going to fall. And now you're looking at Jing. Divide strikes first. What are you? Holds on again. Can he take down Divide?
Ya Allah.
Out of nowhere. Wolves digging deeper.
Mantap katanya.
Spring tees it up. YU closes out with a Red Bull clutch here to keep Wolves alive.
I can't believe that. Look at this round. This from Spring.
Sayang sekali Mas Debai.
You know it's a mad play when even PaperX don't expect it. You know
Gak apa-apa, namanya manusia bro.
3 bullets left for YU.
That's the killer
Ada
instinct
kalah,
I want to see though. To be able to do that against 12?
Cuma ngantuk guys.
Frustration, rightfully so. They give up the pit. They play themselves out of line of sight of Spike. Yes, it needs a miracle. But it's Wolves you're talking about here.
Half-bay Stinger.
We said we start paying attention at 10. They've broken the bye, but it's still PaperX. They could do it with classics. But something seems so unwilling to let go of this mid-pressure. He wants it so badly, so Juicy's got to be careful. There is a world where he could get timed on this one. Those stingers, very, very deadly. We're going to go down. Camera here. Doesn't need to overstay his welcome. Could do with some support on CT though. They do have an open path straight across. Divide going to deny that. No one's going to be able to help out YU here. Does get to at least evade the siege, but they are right knocking at the door. PaperX have a way forward.
Spring ngeri ini sih.
No damage.
Aduh.
Just yet towards the side.
Backshot bro. Nice banget.
PaperX making something out of nothing, and maybe a mistake made by the Wolves. Plans looking like it's coming in. You're looking at that late lurk as well coming out from Jing. Juicy tries to make something of it. Takes away from safe, but the numbers still good. PaperX hold the advantage
4v3. Nice banget 4v2. Oke. Dia tahu dong, harusnya menang dong. GG bro. Gak apa-apa mas, gak apa-apa mas.
Further elevation on the side of PaperX today, overcoming. Quickly become a fan favorite here in Toronto. Still, got to come away from this series with their heads held high for your Wolves.
Yes, absolutely.
Berarti abis ini
PaperX deliver an absolute banger here. And a 2-0 victory over Wolves.
Turun ke luar. Tapi feeling gue G2 sih. Gak tau ya. Apakah nanti yang menang G2 ataukah Fnatic? Kita tunggu hasilnya besok karena saya mau tidur. Terima kasih yang sudah menonton. Sampai jumpa di live selanjutnya. Saya Dr. Tirta. Enggak ya? Yaudah. Makasih teman-teman yang udah nonton.
The visual check, I guess, it's tough to really see his role within this roster and I guess the playstyle, but man, today, shining bright.
Yeah, I said